Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about this new Walking Dead series we have because we got our first official look at it. They released some stills, some images from what we can expect. I'm very excited about this because it's looking promising. Right now is New York Comic Con, so I think that's why they released it. The actual Walking Dead panel is on Saturday, I believe, so we can probably get like a full trailer by then. At least I'm expecting because they have been filming for like 2 or 3 months now. So I'm excited for it. Be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with all new information we get during New York Comic Con because who knows? Maybe we even get some Rick Grimes stuff. We're probably gonna get like season 10 stuff definitely. Probably like a sneak peek or something like that, and then we're probably gonna get like a trailer for this new series, and hopefully we get some Rick stuff. But in today's video we're gonna talk about this new series. Alright, so this is the first image we have here. I believe this is Hope, and then Iris is the one hugging her, and we have the characters' names. So we have like the main group of kids, or like the main characters. It's Iris, Hope, Hawk, Elton, Silas, and Felix. So those are like gonna be like the main characters of the show. The show is about like these young kids, and I believe it's gonna be like the people who are sort of growing up in the apocalypse. Like even on the Hollywood Reporter website here, it says the show was described as an adventure focusing on young survivors of the zombie apocalypse. So definitely people who are very young when the apocalypse started, and now it's like I don't know how many years it's gonna be in the future. Probably like up to 10 years, I'm assuming, and now they're surviving. So this is the next image, which is really interesting, and this character, I believe this is Elton. So here we have Elton, Hope, and Iris, and I believe, and this is interesting because it looks like they're in some sort of classroom, and this kind of makes me think that this episode, like this still could be from episode 1, and the actual series could start off with like before the zombie apocalypse started, which is interesting because unless this is just like a room that's super neat and organized, but to me this looks like a classroom, and we could be seeing like the very early onset days of the apocalypse, which is exciting to me. I know Fear the Walking Dead sort of did something similar when it first started, like the first episode, we were in that classroom and stuff like that. But that didn't really, and I don't think this show is either gonna really fully explore how the zombie apocalypse started. I don't think we're ever gonna really find that out, but it does look like this series will start off pre-apocalypse and then going into the apocalypse. And for me, pre-apocalypse stuff is always interesting, so I'm excited. Next, we have this photo of Hope and Silas, and this looks to be like them in the apocalypse now. They're hiding from something. It could be walkers, or it could be like somebody they're hiding from. I'm sure every series, I'm sure this series is gonna have human villains because that's what The Walking Dead is. The zombies aren't the main threat, it's the people. So I'm sure this series will also have other people who are villains. So they could be hiding from a group of people or walkers. But yeah, this is Hope and Silas here. And then we have this photo of the other two characters, and I believe this is Huck and Felix here. And it looks like they might be like a separate group, like they're on their own. It's probably in the same area as these other kids because they are a bit older, and I'm sure they're gonna run into each other because that looks to be like the main group of people on the show. So I'm sure they're gonna eventually find each other and then be part of the same group. And then we also have this image, which is pretty cool. Like this is like the main group of kids, and you can see, I don't know exactly what that is behind them. Like is it a broken down bus, or is it part of the plane? Because I do think there is going to be a plane crash, which is sort of hinted at the next image we're going to talk about. But yeah, this is the main group of kids here. You can see the walkers there. And then we have this image, which is really cool. So a couple weeks ago they released like the concept art for the series, and we have this image, and you can see that these are all the people who who were on the plane crash, and when they died they turned into walkers. And this sort of reminds me of that. You can see the plane seats, and we have people here, but look how decayed they are. Like I have never seen walkers this decayed on The Walking Dead before. So this kind of makes me think that this show is going to be like there's going to be a plane crash going on early on in the episode, which is like before the zombie apocalypse started, and then the show is gonna pick up so many years later, like a lot of years later, I think, like even up to 10, 15, I don't know, but this is like very decayed. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's gonna be like a huge time jump in this first episode. But yeah, this is a real cool photo. I like this. And I also really quickly want to read the synopsis for this series because it sort of gives us a good idea of what could happen. And then looking at these images, I have a couple theories of based on the synopsis, what could happen to these characters. And you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. But the synopsis says, the third series in a franchise that includes the global hit series The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead will feature two young female protagonists and focus on the first generation to come of age in the apocalypse as we know it. Some will become heroes, some will become villains. In the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. So the two female protagonists is obviously Hope and Iris that we saw in the first image. And the Hollywood Reporter also sort of like described this series as like Lord of the Flies meets The Walking Dead. And this makes me think that this series could potentially be like more character driven rather than plot driven. And we could act like, even though these are like the main characters, we could potentially see some of these main characters, like some of these characters becoming bad and some of them becoming good. You know, not all these characters could be good. Like for The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, we have our main group of people, you know, Rick, Michonne, Daryl. We have like Alicia, Nick, Madison. Like we were introduced with those characters, right? And just along the way, they met people who are bad, and we just sort of like figured out like, okay, there's people who, you know, their journey in the apocalypse made them bad, and some people just, you know, they ended up being good. But this show could potentially actually explore, you know, characters within the same group becoming bad and good. Like, yeah, some of the other shows have done that before, like characters who kind of get upset or frustrated and do things that they normally wouldn't do. But I'm excited for this series in terms of actually being character driven. And then this is also what they had to say about the new series. They said, we're thrilled that the dead will keep walking into a new corner of the post-apocalyptic world. A corner that will present stories and characters unlike any that The Walking Dead has dramatized thus far, and that is bound to excite one of the most passionate fan bases in television, said David Madden, president of programming for AMC Networks and AMC Studios. Scott has been an invaluable leader for the universe since taking on the role of Chief Content Officer and a distinct and innovative vision for the franchise. Likewise, we were excited to have Matt, who has been a crucial part of the Walking Dead family for over 5 years and penned many memorable episodes of The Walking Dead at the helm of this original source. Alright, so a lot to break down there. Starting off with that first part where he says that we're going to be exploring different corners of the post-apocalyptic world. That gets me excited because I really want to see what's going on in other parts of the world. Like right now we're generally in the same area with Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. They are like, far in a way, but Morgan and Dwight both have traveled from both shows, so they're not that far away. But I really want to see like other parts of the world or like other parts of the country at least. So hopefully this is going to be taking place in a different country. And also because of that plane crash that most likely will be happening in episode 1, that kind of makes me think that this could be in a different country. And looking at that photo of the kids in the classroom, that since that's like looks like I said in the beginning of the video, it looks like a very organized classroom, and this doesn't look like the apocalypse started just yet. And this could be like in the first episode, like in the beginning, and then they go on this I don't know why they would be on a plane altogether. Like maybe it's a school trip, who knows? Like there's a lot of schools that go places in planes, so maybe it's like possibly like a school trip or something like that, and the plane crashes because the apocalypse is starting and now they're in a different country. To me, that would be exciting and a fresh take on, in this world. Also, I didn't cover this in a video or anything like that, but we also got some news the other day that Michael Cutlitz, who obviously plays Abraham in The Walking Dead, he is going to be directing some episodes in this series. And that's interesting because it looks like he's really involved now in the behind the scenes stuff, because he's directed episodes of The Walking Dead, and now he's going on to this new show. We'll see if he directs episodes of Fear the Walking Dead also, but he will be directing some episodes of this spinoff, which they did confirm. And another interesting thing is that if you guys have seen the movie Kong Skull Island, it was a pretty good movie. It came out 2 years ago. they got the director of that to come direct some episodes of this series. So they have some interesting, behind the scenes stuff going on here. So I do have some high hopes for this series. But yeah, that was the information we got for the new series. We're probably going to get a lot more, this weekend at the Walking Dead panel. So be sure to subscribe because I'm going to be covering, all that information. But I am going to wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below all your thoughts and opinions about this new series. Are you excited for it? Your theories? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.